All right. So excited to see you all today. Welcome to our, is this our first Coreless Global Activation call with the new Coreless?
Had a couple, but this is an early one.
Okay. Third. Still very special, guys. My name is Chenny. I am so thrilled to be your host today. I am the co-founder and CEO of GotCare, which is a Coreless center. We are focused on distributing and increasing access to community healthcare across the country. I'm also an activator. And personally, really briefly, in terms of what Coreless means to me, I always refer to this community as really my family, my place to go to when things, go belly up and I don't know what to do. Like, okay, I know I should call someone within the community and they'll, if nothing else, help me talk through it. And I know that it's a safe container to do so. So I hope that if you're new here, if you are, maybe give us a little wave. So I hope you find the same community amazing. Okay, so some housekeeping notes. So first thing is that I would love to, actually, my apologies. One of the things that we always do when we open up these calls is we always do a land acknowledgement. And for those of you who haven't done a land acknowledgement before, the importance of a land acknowledgement is that it helps us really give thanks, but also to consider our individual and collective role in the stewardship of Mother Earth and in building relationships between Indigenous people and communities and the rest of the country. So, like I said, a land acknowledgement is something that is really important to the Coreless community, and it's different for every region. I think there's a link that in terms of if you want to share it in the chat. So for those of you who haven't heard of a land acknowledgement or curious to do your own, Nat's going to put a link in the chat that can help you explore that if you'd like. Specifically today, I am currently in Belleville, and that is in the traditional Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee territory. I'm very grateful to currently be able to live and learn and play in the Belleville and Greater Toronto area. Today I'm here to pick up my husband who hit a deer. So if you hear a little bit of background noise, I apologize. I just found a coffee shop. Belleville is within the Dish with One Spoon territory, and that is specifically an agreement where it is around how there is a large dish with all that we need, but only one spoon that we all share. And even today, when I was driving, I had this magical moment where I was just looking up to the rolling hills, and I could feel this sense or this emotion of this dish or this bowl coming to life. One of the things I've been curious about recently is, beyond economic reconciliation and beyond just shifting my mindset, how can I actually develop and really connect and build a relationship with the land around me? So that's sort of my commitment to action this summer, and I would encourage you to reflect on what your commitment could also look like. Okay, so with that housekeeping, first of all, would love to remind everyone of just our accessibility practices here at Coreless. There will be a live transcription. It is available from otter.ai, and it can be turned on by following the link in the chat. We do invite you to show up to virtual events in whatever manner works for you, whether that means turning off your camera, taking breaks, popping some notes in the chat, opting out of breakout rooms. It is completely up to you on your terms. And finally, just a reminder to practice using really inclusive language so that everyone feels welcome. Everyone's pronouns are in the name. So when you are in your breakout, as an example, try to be mindful of that when you can. The objective of the call today is really just an opportunity for you to meet the broader Coreless, formerly SheEO community, and to experience a community of care and connection and action. And for our new guests today, just really an opportunity to meet people in the network and to join the network as well. These are public calls that occur once a month, and it's a really great opportunity for activators to bring in guests or other just new people to learn about what Coreless is and what we're all about. We also welcome you to discover and experience the lift off our community. So whether you're an entrepreneur, a business leader, or at a stage in your life where you're just facing some fundamental shifts or changes, we love to co-create and to support you in that. So the format for today is we're going to start with some inspiration and intentions from Coralys's partnership lead, Janaki. And then we are going to hear from a US venture, Maker Studio, as well as a UK venture, Generation Medics. From there, we'll move into some breakout groups where you can connect with folks around some core Coralys programming and topics. We'll come back into the main room for some reflections, and then we'll wrap up after that. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat. Someone from the team will be able to help you out. And with that, I will pass it over to you, Janaki.
Thanks, Jenny. Hi, everybody. I love these calls so much. It's just the most energizing thing to see everybody's faces and to meet some new folks. Big welcome, Amy and Shirley and Joy and Emily and whoever else is joining the call for the first time today. My name is Janaki Hadida. I lead our partnerships at Coralys. I'm also a 3-time activator. And being an activator and being in this community has really changed who I am. I have grown so much. I'm so, so grateful for all of the connections made and very delighted to speak to any of you at any time to have a one-on-one chat. So if I don't answer anything today, Finn, if you don't mind popping my info in the chat, that'd be great, and please feel free to connect. I'm calling in quite close to where Chenny is today. I'm in Bancroft, Ontario, which is on the Algonquin territory. I have another activator that's staying with me upstairs, a dear friend of mine, and we're just up in the forest. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about Coralys, about our collective impact, about how you can get involved, and then we'll jump into breakouts later on today, and so you can answer or find some more answers to any of the questions I might not answer today. So I got a little bit of a wave of who here are guests. So we have a nice little crew, which is great. So at Coralys, we are all collectively creating an ecosystem-based approach to supporting women and non-binary entrepreneurs that are working on what we call the world's to-do list. So we do use a little bit of different language here, which we'll talk through. The world's to-do list are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and things that Hina and Winona and Chenny are all making progress towards. So together, we are all showing up from coast to coast in all of our different countries, 5 different countries that we're in, and we're showing up in whatever way works best for us. So entirely on our own terms. We offer our networks, we offer our capital, we offer our life experience, we offer our skill set across all of our different sectors and stages and ages. We're all experts in our own lives and all have something to be able to give. We know that there is an abundance of resources that are available among all of us, and that when we reorganize everything into a process that allows us to ask for the help that we need and share those gifts that we have, as I mentioned, no matter what stage we're at, we can really drive incredible progress and make huge impact and build unbelievable relationships with each other. So all of us are a community that is reimagining the future we want to live in, and we're voting for founders who are doing things entirely differently and who are building the economies and solutions of the future and the economies in the world that we want to collectively support, that we want to invest in, that we want to live in, and that we want to see grow. So some of these, there is over 120 of them so far, and we keep growing and growing, are Ananda Devices that is based out of Quebec. And Margaret has developed an innovative solution where she creates essentially human tissues on a microchip that allows us to test the toxicity of medications and cosmetics and pesticides without the use of animals, and uses both male and female cells. She had taught me earlier that a lot of testing only happens on male cells, which I didn't know before. And so her product allows drug discovery to be 2 times faster and 5 times more cost effective. We have Brown Toy Box, Terry Nichelle, who's in Atlanta, and she builds children's educational toys that centers and celebrates Black children and helps them expand their possibility of their lives through STEM, and is available for sale across Targets in the US and online and in loads of classrooms. And she's just exploding and doing such incredible work. Supply Change in the UK. They help organizations create a more impactful supply chain, which we all know also through COVID, how important that is, by connecting them through social enterprise suppliers. And then this past week, I was chatting with Brenda Dragon from Aurora Heat, who is a new venture in Canada from this past year in the Northwestern Territories. She is an Indigenous and women-led social enterprise, and they make and sell natural, reusable, and 100% biodegradable hand, foot, and body warmers. She's one of 3 Indigenous and women-owned businesses in Fort Smith, only one of 3. And her business, Aurora Heat, encourages wild fur harvesting, and they source all of their fur from a program that preserves the cultural heritage of Indigenous people. So it's just an incredible group of folks that we're always surrounded by, and you will continuously hear inspirational stories of women and non-binary people who are just totally reimagining and recreating the way that the kind of the status quo and what is currently happening. You'll also hear stories of all the relationships that are built from those who stepped in to help the founders. I know we'll hear some of those today, whether it was someone that was making an introduction to a new distributor, or providing a bridge loan, or purchasing a product, or amplifying on social media, or saying, hey, maybe you should hire this person, they'd be a really great part of your team, or just sending a note of gratitude. You're doing a really great job, and I really believe in everything that you're doing. It can be very isolating to be an entrepreneur, as many of you I'm sure know, and by being in our ecosystem, we're literally bringing hundreds of people onto these people's individual teams and creating the conditions for all of them to thrive. So how does all of this happen? What is our model? I see Miri smiling glowingly, and so many of our activators that are participating every day in supporting everyone and asking for the support that they need in our ecosystem. So to break it down, we have individual women and non-binary people like yourselves that make a contribution of $92 a month. Or $1,100 a year. And we call these people activators. So you'll hear this word a lot, activators. This contributes towards a perpetual fund to fund entrepreneurs on that are working on what we call the world's to-do list, as I mentioned earlier, which are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. They receive a 0% interest loan. We call the entrepreneurs who receive this ventures. So activators and ventures. The entrepreneurs apply to become ventures through this super simple process designed by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, without any pitch decks, without any jargon, super low barrier, very easy. What we hear often is a wonderfully pleasant experience. And then all the individuals who've contributed capital, the activators, get to go on this really fun 2-round voting process to decide where do we want to put the capital in our country? What economies, what businesses do we want to see grow? Once those ventures are selected by the activators like yourself, the ventures receive the funding and they pay it back over 5 years. They also get world-class coaching and are supported by this community of folks around over 5 different countries, as I mentioned. So as an activator, you not only get to vote for these ventures, but you're also encouraged to invite your community or apply yourself if you want to be a venture. And you essentially have access to everything that the ventures do, minus the loan and minus the one-on-one coaching with our coaching guides. But you can go ahead and ask for the help that you need. You can, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for customers or clients or to hire someone, if you're looking for support, if you're looking to build new friends and invite them to your cottage and hang out for the weekend, you can do that too. When I moved to Montreal last year, and the first thing I did is I looked to see who were all the other activators that are in Montreal that I can be like, gee, you want to be my friend? I need new friends in this. I'm new here. And so it's been such a great opportunity to find, the support, the skills, the experience that you may need, and just to collectively learn together and grow together. So I invite you all to activate if you're not already an activator. I invite you to give me a shout. I invite you to be my friend. And I'm really looking forward to meeting some of you in the breakouts. And I'll pass it back over to you, Jenny.
Thank you for sharing all that, Janaki. So inspiring to always hear about what other ventures are up to. And yes, Janaki is a great friend. So, it's a pretty good offer. Okay. So with that, we are going to hear next from Winona Satcher, who is the CEO and founder of Maker Studio, a 2021 US Coralist venture. Maker Studio is a for-profit green manufacturing firm and design build studio. As a social enterprise, her team is dedicated to developing what she calls resilient communities, which I'd love for you to share more about. Over the course of her career, she served as an urban designer with a focus on equitable housing policy, landscape, architect designer, city planner, economic developer, art curator, and theater producer. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to you, Winona.
Thanks, Jenny. So happy to be here. I feel so bad because it's been a while since I've joined one of the global events. So I'm super excited to get this invite. What can I say? It's been an amazing journey. So excited to be and proud actually to be part of this community of amazing women and non-binary founders, givers, activators, those that really support founders like myself, especially founders of color, to succeed in industries, especially those industries that you just don't see people that look like me or sound like me or have certain value systems. Yes, we were, I can't believe, a 2021 venture. It seems like just yesterday, but a lot has happened since then. And because of formerly CEO, I keep saying that, so I'm still learning the new name. Excited about that as well. But it's been a whirlwind of amazing activity and growth for us. Funding through this family has allowed us to acquire our first 29,000 square foot factory here in Atlanta, Georgia, which has positioned us for growth and larger B2B sales volumes with companies like Home Depot, IKEA. We're in conversations with them, but really not just to expand our revenues, but also our impact and building affordable housing, building modular housing out of recycled renewable materials to make the world a better place, to use less materials that are extractive, and to disrupt a community, an industry, or industries that have been exploitative. That's not what we are about. So this community has been extremely helpful in positioning our company for that revenue growth, but also, for expansion of our own networks to other types of funding opportunities that have just profoundly changed the way even we do business. And so we are moving forward with new products that we're working on, looking forward to hiring more, brand positioning ourselves better. But I can definitely tell you the family is always there because that's what it is. And so even though, Maker Studio, I was a 2021 venture, I'm still a part of the family, still talking with MJ, needing coaching, as something we always do, getting the advice, but the empathy and the reminder that I am doing what is needed. I am the change that is needed is very critical, especially, during these times. So, Jenny, yeah, you're right. We are all about prosilient communities. And basically what that means is term that I came up with, that we are not interested in continuing to support resilience, but we are interested in continuing to create new systems that build off of things that we've learned from in the past. So being very proactive and not as reactive in supporting equity and equitable development. So thank you so much. I love all of you. I'm so glad for the guests who are joining and hope that you will continue to be part of this family, whether you're an activator or just a general supporter or even a venture. And in any way I can continue support, to please reach out. Thanks. Back to you.
Thank you so much for sharing, Winona. I always love hearing about your updates, and you're such an inspiring speaker. So thank you for that. So next up, we are going to, sorry. We actually have a couple minutes. So I just wanted to check in. Does anyone have any questions for Winona? Or perhaps, Winona, do you have an ask as well?
I don't have an ask, except, well, I do have an ask. Let me take that back. Let me restate that. My ask is really geared toward the guests that are joining today. To please, if you will, take the time to continue to support founders and women and non-binary founders to continue to support us in the way that we can support you to help change the world. And this is the place to do it. And so that really is my ask, and to continue to ask as many questions to be able to understand how to do that as effectively as possible. And again, please reach out to me through social media, or if you have any questions or want to have a deeper conversation about the community and how just meaningfully impactful it has been.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so next up, we are going to hear from Dr. Hina Rafiq of Generation Medics. Dr. Hina Rafiq is the CEO and co-founder of Generation Medics, which is a 2021 UK Corliss venture. And Generation Medics supports people from all backgrounds to explore, strive towards, get in, and succeed in healthcare life science careers. And so with that, I'm going to pass it over to you, Hina.
Thank you so much, Jenny. I'm really delighted to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak to this great kind of group of potential activators and activators. Always lovely to hear from ventures as well, so other ventures. So I was in the first cohort of the UK CEO ventures back when we were CEO and not Corliss. And so we're in year 2 now, so I know there's a great new bunch of ventures as well. So a little bit more about me. My name is Hina. I'm a doctor by training, and I founded Generation Medics. We're a social enterprise that supports people from all social backgrounds to explore, strive towards, and succeed in medical, healthcare, and life science careers. We do this because there's a global shortage of nurses, of midwives, of paramedics, of doctors. Pre-COVID, the WHO was saying we needed 6 million more nurses. And just a few months ago, they relaunched that kind of survey and said, actually, we need 9 million. So it's gone up. If we are not getting the diverse talent that are in the local communities, then where are we going to get those people from? So we support not just hospitals and local healthcare organizations, but also, small and large pharmaceutical companies to think about how they could better engage with their local communities to support people to strive towards those roles. So whether it's getting relatable role models to kind of say, hey, you know what, I did it and this is how I did it, or whether it's kind of just decoding the entire pathway so that it's really clear about how you go about getting into some of these, careers that you might not have heard of before. And we do this through online work, but also through in-person work. So we work in local communities. We work with children as young as 5, but actually, since we became a venture, we actually scaled to work with some adults. And I'm really proud to say that that work has been extended this year through the UK government. And we're now working with even more adults who are unemployed, who have mental health conditions, who have lots of reasons, lots of barriers to potentially being in employment, and let alone being in employment in healthcare. But we need to hear from those people with those diverse kind of voices and experiences. We need those people to be part of the community so that they can support patients better. And that's what we're here to do. And in terms of the support that we've had from Corliss, we have had the mentoring, the coaching, and I just have to say, the community is absolutely amazing. So echoing what Winona said, whenever you're having a problem or a struggle, you can just reach out, and there's always someone out there who's kind of like, you know what, I might not know how exactly to help you, but I'm going to have a go, or actually I know exactly how to help and I'm free to jump on a call with you. So I'm super excited to have been chosen to be part of the kind of first journey that Corliss now we're doing in the UK, but actually seeing how it's growing and getting more diverse talent on board. I think that's amazing. And I'm always going to be indebted to the community through helping us to get through what was a super difficult time with COVID and lockdowns. And in terms of asks, I do have a few asks. So if there's anyone out there who is really great at marketing or supporting with impact communication, then please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. We've got lots of new contracts on the way, but we need to be able to communicate the impact that we're having. We truly are transforming lives. So, whether it's children as young as 5, helping them to realize that actually you can be a scientist if you're a girl, and if you're a boy, you can consider things like nursing and midwifery. They're not kind of gendered roles. And taking it further, actually, people from lower socioeconomic, from more disadvantaged backgrounds, actually really struggle to understand what subjects they should be taking at school. So by just telling them, you know what, this is what the universities are looking for, this is what employers are looking for, we're supporting them to get closer to where they want to go faster. So we kind of see ourselves as like creating a new person's network to kind of combat the old boys network. So it's kind of everyone can join us and share their kind of stories, experiences, but also opportunities to support people to fulfill their potential. And that's it for me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for sharing, Hina. I thought I would just check in. Does anyone have any questions? I can see there's already a little bit of connection activity going on. Thank you, Claudia. Amazing, great. Separately, Hina, I'd be happy to chat with you because impact reporting is all my life right now. Amazing. Okay, so next up, we are going to move into our breakout rooms. So for those of you who haven't experienced a Corliss breakout before, I'm really excited for you to get the opportunity to do so. So at Corliss, we believe strongly that our work is just best done when we are in relationship with each other. When we gather in small groups and get to know each other, we're able to learn, connect, and grow together. So in a moment, you'll see a few breakout room options, and you can choose whichever one that you feel most excited about. So there's a couple of information-based breakouts. For example, there is a Corliss 101 that Nat will be hosting, and it's a room where you, if you're here for the first time and just have questions about Corliss and the activator experience in general, you can go ahead and head over to that room. If you are a venture looking for more info on what it means to be a Corliss venture, then you can go ahead and join Janaki in another room where she will talk about the impact that activators have had on ventures. And Janaki will also share a little bit more about the venture program and the exciting work that just the ventures are doing as well. So, or if you just want to learn more about ventures, you can go there too. And then finally, we'll have what we call our classic Ask Give groups. So Ask Give groups are really just a great place for you to practice what we call radical generosity. And radical generosity is what is core to the Corliss experience. So when we say radical generosity, it's not just you being generous to others, but it's also you being generous to yourself. And you being generous to yourself means sharing an ask, and means asking for help, and means that you're not holding yourself back from taking up that space if you need it. And similarly, on the other side, which we find that we're actually this community is much better at, is generously supporting others when they have an ask. If you have something that you can help them with, a connection, an idea, feel free to offer that as well. Or if you have nothing that specifically that you want to share, that's also totally fine. You're also welcome to just join the Ask Give group just to observe and listen. Again, you can really participate on your own terms. Coming back to our housekeeping at the beginning, you are you're totally in control of your experience here. In all of the rooms, what we encourage you to do is just share a little bit about yourself before you go ahead and get started. And each group, when you come back, just have like a few words summary of your conversation, and someone can share it in the chat, maybe existing activator or someone like that. Okay, I think that's everything. I'm going to pass it over to Nat. Let me know if I missed anything.
Never. Chenny, you're such a fantastic host. It's so lovely to see you. And Winona and Hina and Janaki. I always find hearing from each of you to be so inspiring and reminds me about the really important impact of the work that we do here at Corliss. I'm going to open the breakout rooms now. You should see an option pop up on your screen to join a room. You can do that you'll see the title of the room that you want, and next to it, you should see a join button or maybe a blue numbered button. If you click on that, you'll hop right in. If this option doesn't show up for you, it's likely just that you're using a slightly older version of Zoom. So please feel free to pop in the chat which group you'd like to be in. Reminder, the options are a Corliss 101, about the venture program, or an Ask Give session. And you can pop into the chat which room you'd like to be in, and we'll ensure that you end up there. We'll see you all soon. Welcome back, everyone. I'm sorry to my group. I feel like I got cut off in a last sentence, but thrilled to continue to connect with each of you. Finn will share my LinkedIn in the chat. As we're wrapping up today, I just wanted to say thanks to each of you for your time, for your consideration, for your attention, and wanted to talk a little bit about what next steps look like if you're interested. We would encourage each of you to consider activating. It's $92 a month or $1,100 a year. If that's a financial concern for you, please let us know. There are a number of cohorts that are opening up this fall that are looking for applicants and looking to sponsor fully gifted places for individuals in the community, and we'd love to consider you. When you activate, a number of wonderful things happen. You'll get welcomed in by another activator in a one-on-one chat. I see Farron and Miri on this call. More than likely, you'll speak to one of the two of them who will give you a warm welcome. You'll get onboarded into our online community, our Slack channel, our Notion, and you'll get a chance to join a number of incredible events that are happening on a regular basis. Learning opportunities, connection opportunities, and then you'll get to vote for ventures. So venture applications in North America for Canada, US, and UK open. Finn will correct me when I inevitably say the wrong date, but at some point in September. September 6th, thank you. And we really encourage you to activate in advance of that so that you can help select the next venture cohort and really support the entrepreneurs who are working on the world's to-do list. Finn will drop the link in the chat for the website if you're interested. If you have any further questions, please let me know. Before we head off, I'm going to launch a quick poll, 3 short questions that will help us understand a little bit about what you're interested in. The first question is, have you met women or non-binary folks that you'd like to keep in touch with? Are you interested in getting more involved in this community? And for our current activators, let us know how you're doing and what you're thinking. The final thing that I would love to do before we leave is take a quick photo. We like to post a little recap on LinkedIn. Steph will tag you all if you are online. And what I'm going to ask each of you to do is, on the count of 3, give us a little description, physical description of how you're feeling today. It could be hands up, it could be smiles, it could be arms in the air, whatever your feeling is, bring it forward, let us see, and then Steph will tag you all on LinkedIn. Okay, so we'll go 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Thank you all. Actually, the very last thing I will say before we leave today is Finn will share a feedback form in the chat. We'd love to hear how today's call was for you. If you have questions, feedback, concerns, whatever, would love to know. We're gently obsessed with feedback here and always trying to iterate to improve and to be responsive to that. So thanks to each of you. Been a pleasure. And I'll hope to see you all soon.